What's good, peeps? What is good? Happy Monday. Hopefully, this is the start of a very good week for everyone. Fingers crossed, you never know, right? If you're new to the channel, don't forget to press that subscribe button. Don't forget also to like and share the vids. You know, I've only just got round to watching the weekend's boxing. I didn't actually watch any of the fights. I knew the results, obviously, but I didn't watch the fights at all. So I've only just watched them, and actually I didn't even watch all of them. I watched the majority of Matchroom's card, and I've just now watched the Cepeda Baranchik fight in full. Painful fight. You know what, I can't lie to you, I was watching the Cepeda Baranchik fight, and it's such a random thought, but this was genuinely going through my head as I was watching the fight. No bullshit. How is this sport legal? That's what was going through my head. Like, how is this allowed? Like, that fight ages you. Like, ages me watching it. I don't know what it does to the fighters. Like, I know Baranchik was down for a while after that knockdown, right? His leg bent over him, and it was just a vicious, horrible punch. And I was just thinking, how's this even allowed? But yeah, but it is allowed. Thank God it is allowed, because that was a terrific fight of the year, right? But yeah, brutal war. Let's before we talk about that, I mean, we'll talk about that fight, but before we do talk about that fight in a bit more detail, nothing special, I'm not the kind of guy to break down fights. Let's quickly have a chat about that Matchroom card. The return of a fighter that I really do like, Joshua Buatsi. We've not seen Joshua Buatsi in the ring for, I think it was something like 400 days. That kept flashing up. 400 days. Like, that's ridiculous when you think about it. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's go through the fight card, and then we'll quickly touch on Buatsi's fight against Calic, who surprised me. Surprised me a lot. I didn't watch this fight, but I gather by people's reactions to the scorecard that John Hedges did not win that fight against Jan Arden, but was given it because it was his debut. And hey, whatever, right? This is boxing. Alan Babbage, Niall Kennedy. Alan Babbage got the stoppage. I don't rate Babbage at all, if I'm honest with you. Decent, tiny for a heavyweight, tiny. He weighed in at something like 14 stone 7 or 14 stone 8. I remember thinking, what? Tiny, but Dave Allen will beat him. Dave Allen will beat him, trust me. I know he's calling that Hrgovic. Hrgovic would run through him. Like, I don't know if he's calling it, I don't know why. I don't know if they've had some beef as amateurs. I don't get it. If there's some sort of beef where they're from, I don't understand. But Hrgovic would destroy him. Aqib Fiaz beat Kane Baker. Again, the scores were 77-75. I don't know if people thought that was a draw. Again, I haven't watched that one. I did, however, though, watch Linus Udofia versus John Harden. And decent performance from Linus. Decent performance. I thought he stood his ground a bit too much when he didn't need to. I just thought, just on boxing ability alone, he was levels above John Harden. But it's almost like, because of their needle outside of the ring, it's almost like he wanted to show something. Like, show, I come and I'll stand there with you and bang if you want to bang. Do you know? That's what it felt like. Because I thought his boxing ability alone was just too much for John Harden. John Harden's good, he's game, right? He's a tough guy. He is a tough guy. But in terms of just the better boxer, the cleaner work, everything was Udofia, just levels above. And in the end, he got the stoppage, TKO in the 9th. That moves him to 15-0 now. It's a good unbeaten record. Needs to take a step up to that British scene. Obviously, he's English champion. Now he needs to go to the British scene and then see what he can do. We'll see. We'll see what he can do, right? Chantel Cameron became world champion, the vacant WBC super lightweight title, beating Adriana Dos Santos. The less I say about Adriana, the better. I don't know. Obviously, look, I do know there aren't that many female fighters. That's just what it is, right? There aren't that many high-level female fighters yet. There isn't. And because there isn't, someone like Adriana gets a world title shot when she clearly isn't anywhere near it. You know, the funny thing is, like, there are so many good female boxers that are amateur but then they don't turn pro. They decide there's no money in it, which for a long period there wasn't. They maybe even decide, you know what, they want to have kids, right? They want to start a family, so they stop. So it's weird, like if all of those girls could transition to pro, the program would be very, very good. There'll be a lot of decent female pros. There is now, but just I'm trying to say the pool isn't enough. So I wonder, there's too many weight classes? Well, get rid of some. Do you know what I mean? Let's just squeeze them all into a certain weight class. Maybe I'm just being harsh, but that's the way I feel sometimes. Like, there's no point in having all these weight classes where there's not enough talent in that weight class. Because then you get someone like an Adriana fighting for a world title and she's nowhere near the level. Like, nowhere near the level. Man, that's just not a good advert for female boxing. And the thing is, it's been good. It's been good recently, especially all the female fights on Fight Camp were good. And that's a good note, right? Because we want the sport to grow. I do anyway. I don't mind female boxing. I want it to grow. I just want it to be good. I want it to be competitive. I don't want things like this. Eddie Hearn, I think, is putting on an all-female fight card, right? Headlined by 3 female world title fights. And all those fighters are decent, right? All of them are decent. And that should be better, but this was poor. Anyway, Joshua Buatsi versus Marco Calic. Although I knew the result, I hadn't seen the fight. From the first minute, no, that's even not even that long. First 20 seconds, I knew Buatsi was going to have to work for this. I mean, Calic looked sharp. It's almost like, I don't know if anyone has played a sport to a decent level, but I played football to a decent-ish level. And I remember when you used to go to like these games or trials and you see someone touch the ball, just like, you know, you pass it to them and the first touch, you're like, oh, hello, yeah, you can play football. Just from the first touch, like, fucking, he's all right. You know, or like someone does something like a crossover in basketball, like, oh, okay, he's got it, he's got enough. The first couple of jabs that Calic threw with bad intentions, I was like, okay, this kid's sharp. This kid ain't just coming for a payday, he's sharp. Like, yes, he had an unbeaten record, so some people might say, yeah, he was unbeaten, but you look at who he's fought, and that didn't mean he was good, because he fought nobodies. This guy can clearly fight. He was as sharp as it gets for an 11-0 opponent. Like, very, very sharp, very big, very strong, fast hands. Like it didn't look like he had fast hands, but then he had fast hands. Don't know if that makes any sense. But there's some fighters that look sharp, and I was thinking, geez, he's fast. Like, geez, you know, sharp. Buatsi's very, very sharp as well. I think the problem for Buatsi is that, and I think his corner was saying it, jab, 1, 2, then out. Buatsi would throw a jab, then stayed in the pocket, and that guy was just catching him with the overhand right. Time and time again. Like, he caught him coming in the third with a beautiful shot, which obviously was swelled up the left eye. But even before that, in rounds 1 or 2, he was catching Buatsi with the same shot. Catching Buatsi all the time with that shot. There was very little head movement from Buatsi, and in the end, what got Buatsi out of that fight was his gas tank, because Calic just started to slow down when Buatsi started landing those body shots, vicious body shots. And just Buatsi's just a better boxer. But Calic was a test I didn't expect it to be. So I don't know if that's Buatsi just not ready for the jump, or Calic being a lot better than I thought he was, than we all thought he was. Might be a bit of both. I think that's fair. It might be a bit of both. Plus, Calic was big. It was also a time when I was looking at the fight thinking, Buatsi's a very small... No, that's not true. He's not a very small light heavyweight, but he's a light heavy that I think makes light heavy comfortably. Like, I think he's quite comfortable at making 175. I don't think it kills him. Whereas I bet it kills, or killed, Calic. I bet it kills a Beterbiev. I bet it killed a Vosdik before he retired. I bet it killed a Kovalev. I don't think it kills a Buatsi. So I think once he does step up, or fingers crossed, gets to that level where he's fighting the top tier, they're going to have a size advantage over him. But he's got to work on that head movement, man. Because he does everything else right. I think he's so sharp with his punches. Such a good finisher. Very clinical. Beautiful jab. I think Matthew Macklin was talking about it on commentary. Like, it's not a rangefinder. He's not just trying to pepper you. He's trying to hurt you with that jab. And when he senses a finish, he really does go for it. Buatsi's spiteful. such a spiteful fighter, but that head's got to be a bit better. I'm a big Buatsi fan, but he's got to move that head as he comes in. He's coming in straight lines and then getting tagged. And look, it's easy to sit here in a fucking armchair and critique him, as we do, but I'm just saying what I see. He got tagged too many times with that overhand right, too many times. Calic is fast. He's not super fast, but he's fast. And I'm thinking of some of the sharper, faster fighters, like a young Pascal, who's very, very explosive. Do you know what I mean? That right hand's just going to be landing clean all the time. So fingers crossed Buatsi can work on that. What else I was thinking, this is nothing against the corner. It's just a fault. Sorry, I really need this green tea. What else I was thinking was Adam Smith was mentioning something about Buatsi has been with his corner since the get-go for, I think, even as an amateur. And I was thinking, and again, this is nothing against his corner, by the way. I think his corner doing a good job. I think that it's a good team. But I was just thinking, like, as you go higher, so as you take on sort of a British, then you go European, then you go world, does your corner not need to get better? Does that make any sense? Like, does your corner not need to be a world level corner or a world level coach? His cornerman might be that. I don't know. I don't personally know them. I don't know much about them. So I'm just asking. As Buatsi does go to a higher level, does he not need to get a higher level corner? Does that make any sense? Like, if you play non-league football, just as a silly example, people might shoot this example down. I understand if you shoot it down. If you play non-league football and then you go up to League One, there's not many managers. There is a few, but there's not many managers that go from non-league to then League One to Championship to Premiership. There's, again, in history there'll be a few, but it doesn't really happen. You normally have Premier level managers, right? Then you've got Championship managers that always will be in the Championship. It's true. You've got League One managers that always, and you've got Premier League managers. So as a player moves up, his managers get better as well. Does that make any sense? Hopefully it does. But that's what I was just thinking with Buatsi in the corner. But again, nothing against his cornerman. It's just what I was thinking. So yeah, what next for Buatsi? I'm going to put that down to Calic being good, him being 400 days out of the ring, and him needing to work on a couple of things. But I've openly said, I just want to know where Buatsi is. Now, looking at that fight, I can say, okay, Buatsi kind of European level. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know if Buatsi is going to go and challenge for something in 2021. Remember, I think he is ranked number 3 or number 4 of the WBA, so he's close. I also wanted to know, is Buatsi going to have another fight this year now because of the swelling and how tough that fight was? No, that's out of the way. So Buatsi isn't going to come back now again until March. So he's going to have a fight like this again, maybe just a couple of levels above Calic, and maybe 3 fights like that in 2021 and then 2022. So that's all I wanted to know. Where is he going to go? And now I know where he is in my head. So I have no shame in him fighting another guy just like that, because he needs to fight guys like that and get him out of there and make a statement. He didn't do that. Made a statement and got the job done, but I think even him within himself will watch back and think there's things I can improve on. All right, what can we talk about? All right, let's talk about this Zepeda-Baranchyk fight quickly. Yeah, it was brutal, wasn't it? It was brutal, man. And it's even worse because, no fans, you can actually hear the punches. You can hear that crunch of the knuckles, right, on the chin and on their head and in the body. It's horrible. I am soft. I'm a soft man. That was horrible to witness. Credit to Zepeda. Credit to Baranchyk, right? Credit to Baranchyk as well. I mean, his knockdowns always look the worst. Like, Zepeda's knockdowns didn't look that bad, but fucking Barancyk's knockdowns look bad. And I just hope that he's okay. I really do. It reminded me, it wasn't as brutal. You know, the most brutal fight I've seen 2 fights where I knew, and this is in recent years, this is in the last 10, 15 years, 2 fights, and there's been way more, but 2 fights where I know neither person's coming out of this fight normal again. Bradley Provodnikov, I knew as soon as that fight was over, Bradley fucked. I knew it. And I think he even spoke about that fight hurt him, like, mentally. And Provodnikov, Lucas Matisse. Oh my God. No, thank you. It's almost like whoever signed for that fight knew exactly what they were doing. That fight was awful. Like probably the most violent fight I've seen in a long time in terms of guys just standing in the pocket and lacing each other. And both of them were known punchers. But credit to Zepeda. Is it Zepeda or Zepeda? Just want to have a quick look at his record very quickly. Just want to see where he is in 140. Because they are talking about him versus... apologies, people. Him versus Ramirez again. Lost it by majority decision. Okay, I can see why people were saying that now. When was that? 2019. Fucking hell. Terry Flanagan beat him when Terry Flanagan was unbeaten, but it says he retired. I can't remember that fight in 2015. Shit, what's up with Terry Flanagan now? Is he retired? Don't even know. Is he retired? Don't know why my voice went high pitched there. Is he retired? When was his last fight? Maybe not. 15th of November 2019. Maybe not. But it must be difficult, you know, going from being a world champion. And he defended his belt. He didn't fight anyone as far as I'm concerned. Or when he did, he lost. But he defended that belt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Then he fought Maurice Hooker and lost by split decision. Then Prograis. So only lost to good fighters. Anyway, we're off track. Let's see if there's any stories we can talk about before we wrap up. Luis Ortiz eyes return in November. I'm ready to face anyone. White, Wilder an idiot, made worst mistake ever by dumping Breland. Glass houses. Stones. You know the rest. I don't know. I think what White's talking about is that Breland was the only person that cared about White. Oh, this seems to be the story that's come out of this. Because Breland threw the towel in and tried to save White. No one knows, unless you're in the Wilder camp, what else is going on behind the scenes. No one knows if their relationship is like that or there's always arguments. No one knows, right? To me, as a fighter, you're the one in there taking punishment. You got the right to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You don't think Breland's for you? It's not for you, right? You're the one that steps into the ring, regardless. Now, yes, he threw the towel in, I think, and saved him from further punishment. But maybe there's other reasons. Who knows? But that's basically what White's getting at, that Wilder's an idiot because he's the only person that cares for Wilder. Who knows? Bob Arum, I would offer Jack Catterall a lot of money to fight Jose Zepeda, who just fought Baranchik. Why would you do that when he's mandatory for Ramirez? Okay, see what you're trying to do there. Prograis, Adrian Broner is just a clown. I think I'll be first person to stop him. I don't think you will. He might beat him, but I don't think he's stopping Broner. Broner quite tough, man. Broner quite tough. I don't think he's stopping Broner. More stuff on here on Lomachenko and Lopez. Let's just wait and see. Alan Babbage, the fans want me to face Tom Little next. Let's do it. I don't know if the fans are screaming out for this, like, oh, face Tom Little. I don't know. Don't know if it's that deep. You know, we're not that interested. I mean, if you guys get it on, you get it on, but I don't think the fans are screaming for it. But credit to Babbage, he's obviously wants a fight. That'd be a decent little scrap, by the way, because I think that's where he is, if I'm honest with you. I don't think Babbage is what some people assume to think he is, like this mean, big monster. Not that at all. Maybe he could make cruiserweight, if I'm honest with you. Joseph Parker versus Junior Farr. That deal is imminent, it says here. In play for December. I don't know what's going on with Joseph Parker. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, you can do all the videos you've been doing, and they were great, the lockdown videos, but man, you need to get your career on track quickly. All right, at the 14-day weights, so hopefully you guys know it's for 14 days left of the fight. Lomachenko 141.4, Lopez 142.4. Interesting. Interesting. Weights. Yeah. So both of them are going to make weight very comfortably. Good news here about Baranchik. He was released from hospital. Thank God for that. What else have we got? Anything else? No, I don't think so. Dimitri Bivol, the world champion, open to facing Buatsi. Buatsi should stay away from that for now. Stay away, Buatsi. You're not ready. Not yet. Not yet. It's only 12, 13 fights in. You got time, but you're not ready yet. All right, guys. In fact, let's have a quick look at Mike Coppinger's Twitter page, or Michael Benson, who copies Mike Coppinger's Twitter page. I don't even know who Mr. Benson is, because I know his title's Talk Sport something, but I actually have never seen him at Talk Sport. I'm sure he clearly obviously works there, but I've just never seen him. What's Mike Coppinger got for us? I know there was this thing about the Charlo's pay-per-view numbers, and everyone was going back and forth if they're good, or they're not good. I don't care. Let's have a look. No, nothing. All right. No talk about Liverpool 7-2, please. Peace.